the number of times that we've, after a French game in this competition, that we've talked about professional performance. They've not really hit the heights at all, despite the talent that they possess in their group. Exception, obviously, Argentina. I think they were workmanlike today without really breaking Uruguay down. The second goal, of course, gives them that sort of respite and that sort of ability to, to hold the ball then. They haven't really been impressive, but at the end of it all, they're in the semi-final of the World Cup. That's fantastic. As for Uruguay, definitely, as you just mentioned, missed Cavani badly, really badly. Their replacement, Stuani, just wasn't up to the task that they needed in this quarter-final.
Were you a little bit disappointed in France? Do you expect more, even given the way that Uruguay set up and the Uruguay played of France? Do you think they could have shown a little bit more? I mean, they're through. No. They'll say, so what, we're through. But
I think there's more to come from France. Yeah. You have to give... In the first half, we were giving Uruguay credit for the way they were closing them down. The problem I had with Uruguay is that once they did get around Mbappe or Pogba, whoever was in the midfield, Griezmann, they were tight on them, they didn't really have an outlet to actually go and then hurt France. That was the problem, what they had. But I think that France, I thought they'd done pretty well in the way they had to deal with a very resolute Uruguayan side, and then in the end they won the game.
And you would imagine whoever wins the other quarter-final out of Brazil or Belgium won't play like Uruguay, so that might be to France's benefit, because it'll be more, dare we say, of that some sort of football match rather than that really physical 90 minutes we've just seen from Uruguay.
Yeah, potentially. I mean, I thought France were really effective today. Totally different from the game against Argentina. So it proves that, if someone wants to go toe-to-toe against them, they can do it. If someone wants to make it a little bit more difficult, they find a way. And that's how you win tournaments, finding a way, whoever the opposition is.
Well, it's nice to find a way, I must admit, if you can get a goal like you did in the second goal.
Yes.
Goal,
Yeah.
That's fantastic. Yeah. That's not something you're planning for. And it goes 2-0 in the game. You're looking then for an Uruguay side without Cavani, who have not really got the ability at the end of it all to score that number of goals.
A little bit of space for Griezmann here on the left.
Yeah, I mean, Uruguay have obviously just changed shape, gone to a flat four, so potentially first half Torreira might have been in that space to engage against Pogba, but yeah, technique, concentration.
Absolutely. When you've just seen Jimenez just lying down as he was outlined there, he lies down there just seeing the second goal. Godinez put his hands in the air as if to say, well, that's it. It's a long, long way back for that.
Jimenez,
and Jimenez crying then as well too.
When
I think he'll kill the goalkeeper when he gets in at the end of the game.
I think when you look at Griezmann, there's not really bodies in front of him. You can sympathise with the goalkeeper if it came really late and he saw it late, but for him to be able to see that ball from the time it's left his foot to move in a little, of course you can see the movement, but
does it seem odd the way he throws his hands at it? And I'm loath, because it's happened before when we talk about goalkeepers here. The goalkeepers watching going, you don't know what you're talking about, but it does look a bit odd.
But the ball doesn't move. This is the whole point. He moves.
Yeah.
He moves. And I don't know what he was looking at, really. I mean, we're all loath to criticise goalkeepers. A difficult position, but that's a straightforward shot. And that's effectively the game.
Yeah.
I mean, clearly he has scored, but he almost looks a bit embarrassed, Griezmann. And as goal scorers yourself, do you go, well, it'll always be my goal.
Would have still celebrated.
I'd have celebrated that, because at the end of the day, you don't score that goal if you don't hit the target.
Yeah, exactly.
Hit the target, the goalkeeper could do something like that.
Yeah. Right. Now, this is the Mbappe flashpoint is an interesting one, because it depends which side of the fence you sit. So criticism is, Mbappe, don't showboat, don't show off, because you're taking the mickey out of a fellow professional when the game is up. And he gets a little tap from Rodriguez. It's not that bad. He doesn't need to roll around. Where do you sit? Should we be showing the skill and you want a little bit of showboating, so what?
Yeah, I mean, I like it. He's 19, he's playing well at the World Cup, they're 2-0 up. He has a little trick. I mean, yeah, you've got to be careful, obviously, especially against the South American team, because they won't be happy with that. You've just got to be careful when you do that sort of thing. But, yeah, I won't be too hard on Mbappe.
Disrespectful?
Well...
Not to Ryan.
Ryan was winging and wanted to do precisely that there. I'm in Rodriguez's camp,
You give him a dig?
I would have chinned him. I am totally incapable of chinning anyone.
Oh, yeah. So you're saying don't take the mickey out of a fellow professional?
Absolutely right.
Yeah.
There'll be another opportunity sometime along the way.
Well, like I say, it's one of the, as soon
Well,
as
you're standing there laughing.
Well, yeah, but when he was doing it, you think he's better watch himself because someone's going to give him a clump. You say that because that's what happens. You don't want to see people taking a mickey out of you when you're losing like that, especially such a big game. You see what it means to a menace.
And also, I think he was actually saying to stop play acting as well too. He just touched him on the way down, and Mbappe has gone.
Oh, sure, that's ridiculous. The way that
the whole thing is that it was a combination of the whole.
Yeah,
the whole
and it went on too long afterwards as well, which we've seen a lot of. The referee have got to put a stop to that. Where it's 2 or 3 minutes, you're waiting for everyone, just to get away.
Yeah, looked like he lost control, didn't he, the referee? OK, so France will play the winners of tonight's Brazil-Belgium quarter-final. Catch highlights of that match after the news, 10:45 here on ITV this evening. Well, this time tomorrow we should know if England have reached the last 4 at the World Cup for only the 3rd time in their history. Gabriel Clark has been talking to the hero of Tuesday night's penalty shootout.
A night like no other in Moscow.
Front and centre was a man who hadn't played a competitive England game before this World Cup, who'd been called too short and the weak link in the build-up, and who thought he'd won his side the match.
Shows me spring.
But all that was overtaken by events half an hour later.
Bit of daydream. I didn't hear what the gaffer was saying, I was just kind of doing my own thing. The fist pump then to the fans and just felt like I was in control.
Telling yourself what?
That I'm going to do it. What a way to come on a stage at a World Cup if I can maybe help us win and get a save a pen. Hendo's. That's where I thought I'm going to have to help the team, help the fellow Sunderland lad as well.
Uribe to give Colombia match point.
To make yourself look big, hopefully my pressure put him off.
Hits the underside of the crossbar.
Explain where your notes were for each penalty taker.
They're on the bottle. We did a research and I think that gave us the cutting edge. And I just thought, I'm ready for this. Celebration was decent. It just shows how passionate we are and how successful we want to be for ourselves and for the country.
For any player with England, every action that you make will be dissected more than in any other team. Perform well on those big nights and you have a little place in history.
That's what it's all about, isn't it, really? 4 years ago, I was with my friends doing exactly the same thing. If we perform well, they're going to keep going happy and they keep going to the boozer, I think.
So what's happening back home is feeding into your success. Definitely, the players are responding to the warmth, the energy, the encouragement.
Well, the last time England won a penalty shootout at Euro 96, they had another shootout the following game, and we know what happened with the gaffer.
Hopefully it doesn't happen. Hopefully we get the win in 90 minutes.
But you're ready for 120?
Yeah, whatever it takes to win a football match, we're ready.
Penalties again?
Yeah, I'll step up as well.
Do you anticipate that when he lines up tomorrow to play against Sweden, he will feel a bit different, Jordan Pickford? He's played a major part in England reaching the quarter-final.
Very much so. He's just come into the side, and there was talk about him not even starting in the tournament. There's also criticism as well too about certain things where he parries straight into crowds rather than away, all that type of stuff. That has eroded. That has been absolutely brilliant here, and that big save he's made there to get them there it'll be such a confidence lifter for him. He will go in a new man.
Do you anticipate, I mean, we know what the Swedes are like and they're extremely durable defensively, but Forsberg's got a little bit of something. Do you anticipate being an extremely tight game in Samara?
Yeah, it'll be England's toughest game so far. I mean, Belgium, obviously, there's lots of changes. Sweden have got a good record against big teams. And they'll be thinking exactly the same as England as well. Look at and they got a bit of luck, with a deflected goal. So, it'll be a tough game for England.
Last time England played Sweden, Zlatan scored all 4, one of them about 80 yards. All that's rubbish. History is bunk. Doesn't mean anything, does it, Ian? This is a new day for both teams.
Yes, and it's quite exciting for both countries. Obviously, obviously more excited for England because we've actually gone through a penalty shootout, and we've got Sweden, and we get through Sweden, we could get Croatia or Russia, and you can't get over the fact that if you could choose a side, you would choose this side, and you have to look at how Sweden's going to be hard, it's going to be very difficult, but what would you expect in the last 16? Just like Sweden, like Ryan said, you're thinking exactly the same about us, but it's a magnificent opportunity. And I can't.
You've got butterflies already.
Yeah, I have, and I'm quite pleased because everybody's so happy. It makes everybody happy. See how together we are as a country. It's a brilliant thing. I'm just riding the coast. I'm just riding the roller coaster right now.
Well, it's all happening tomorrow. Thank you very much, gents. Our next match, Russia-Croatia, tomorrow evening. Join us from 6. We'll have the full story and reaction to England's quarter-final before the Russia game, which kicks off at 7 o'clock. There's an earlier start to our racing coverage from Sandown Park tomorrow to avoid the World Cup. Now, the big race is the Eclipse. 2:10. Join the team midday on ITV. The opening show, 8:30 ITV4. That's on earlier because of the Tour de France.